My partner and I live in a rented studio apartment. I work part-time as a waitress and study at university on a scholarship. He works as a mechanic in a factory. We live in a small town where high-paying jobs are scarce, and it just so happens that my partner's paycheck was significantly delayed this month. We had no money to pay our rent. I sat at work and looked longingly at the canteen, where people were enjoying their meals. The thought that tomorrow we might be evicted from the apartment kept me in suspense. It seemed that I would have to take out another loan, but even that was doubtful, as we already had several late payments. After taking the order, I brought dinner to a man and left a few minutes later. He called out to me, "Excuse me, miss, why are there walnuts in my salad?" I explained that I was allergic to them, and I had forgotten to warn the cook. "Excuse me, please let us change it right away," I said, trying to grab a plate of salad. "No, call the receptionist," he insisted. Usually such incidents passed without too much fuss, but this time all the blame fell on me. Our establishment had a well-deserved reputation, and such an oversight could not go unpunished. In the end, I was fined and I left the restaurant. Exhausted, I sat down on a bench and cried. While I was crying, the same man got out of the car and offered me a ride. I flatly refused and got up to leave. The man insisted, saying it would be an apology for the incident at the restaurant. After some hesitation, I agreed, figuring it was just a ride home. In the car, we got to talking, and I told him about my life situation. Emotionally devastated, he was silent for a few minutes before he stopped the car. He asked me why such a beautiful girl was with a guy who couldn't provide for her. I had never thought about it before. We were used to doing everything together, but maybe he was right. I was contributing more to our household than he was, even though I was still in school. "Do you want to come to my place? I just want to help you financially," he said. I was shocked, but the man assured me that he meant nothing of the sort and just wanted to help me. When we stopped at the store, he went back to the car with flowers and handed them to me. It had been years since anyone had given me flowers. When I got to his apartment, the man reached out to kiss me, and I couldn't refuse him anymore. That same evening, I was riding home in a cab, and my phone vibrated. My bank account was credited with the amount of money I needed. The next day, I felt uneasy. My partner noticed my uneasiness, but didn't insist. I thought of telling him about the man's help, but I was afraid of his reaction. Days passed, my financial situation improved, but guilt gnawed at me. One evening, after a long shift, my partner surprised me with a small bouquet, something he had never done before. "I know things haven't been easy," he said softly. "I want to get better." Tears came to my eyes. I realized how much I appreciated our shared struggle. This man had offered me salvation, but it came with conditions. My partner, despite his flaws, was sincere. That night I confessed everything to him. He listened to me in silence and then hugged me tightly. "We'll work it out together," he promised. And we did. We found ways to save money, cut back, and eventually moved to a better place. In the end, love isn't about perfection, it's about getting through the hard times together.